Okay, this is a review for the Incoterms for international contracts, right? So I want us to make it an activity. So I want you to think not just about what the terms mean, but how you can actually use them. So we are going to play buyer and seller. Okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. All right? The instructions, one person on the team is a buyer, the other person is the seller. So seller's here, buyer's at the other end. The seller is in America, the buyer is in China. This is how we will get the goods, deliver the goods, right? That's what Incoterms is, right? What does Incoterms mean? International contract terms, right. So these are the terms that you use when you write your contract so that you know, both parties know, and they have to negotiate these terms, right? What is negotiate, Yolanda? To discuss, and hopefully to come to an agreement. Okay? Not all negotiations come to an agreement, but that is the reason to negotiate, is to reach or get an agreement between the buyer and the seller, right? And when you get an agreement, both parties agree, we have mutual understanding, exactly. And if we have mutual understanding, usually it will be a good contract, right? Okay, so Ryan, buyer, Jimmy, seller, Betty, buyer, Regina, seller, Poppy, buyer, Yolanda, seller, Hero, buyer, Bobby, seller. Okay? Now, there are 5 Incoterms to choose. The seller has the choice. I will actually tell you. Ryan and Jimmy, who's the seller? Jimmy's the seller. You are selling cars. Regina, you are selling oil. Yolanda, you are selling paper. Bobby and Hero, you are selling furniture. These are things that will ship. The prices on here are actual prices. The cars and the furniture are estimates. The others are actual prices for these items on the market today. I put them on the paper this morning. So we're looking at real numbers. The reason for the prices is so you can negotiate. When you start here, the buyer takes all the risk, right? Seller just makes the goods available, right? The further you come along, the more risk and the more money the seller has to spend, the less risk, the less money the buyer has to spend. So you can negotiate that price up or down. Because when you are finished, you must, as see at the bottom, you must be able to tell me what Incoterm, and you can use your book, that's why the page numbers are here, what Incoterm you are using, why did you agree to it as the buyer and the seller? You both must agree, right? Okay? So try to think about what Incoterms make sense. This is maybe a challenge, thinking. Just think about it. Don't just pick one. I want to know why you picked it and why you agreed to it. If you have the time, we'll give this, let's say, 5 to 7 minutes. For a little extra credit, can you negotiate a contract date and a method of payment? Okay? The reason that we are doing this is to learn about the Incoterms, and also, when you are finished that, you will come up and tell me where the Incoterm is on the board. That's why the pretty picture. Okay, so what Incoterm applies to buyer picking up the goods here? What Incoterm fits for where on the water does the transfer take place? Or at which dock does the transfer of title and transfer of risk? Transfer of title and transfer of risk. That means when does the buyer own the goods? He owns them when he gets the title, right? Okay? Understand? Questions? So I gave you a couple of questions to think about. Method of transportation. What does method mean? Betty? Huh? Away. Yeah, away or means. Yeah, a method. Okay, so again, you can choose from the beginning to over here which Incoterm makes the most sense and the way you're going to transport it. How do you get the goods from here to here to the ship? And then does the title transfer here? Does the title transfer on the other side? Where does the risk come into play? What do you buy to avoid risk? Do you remember? It's the difference between CAF and CIF. CIF, you can check your book. And freight, right. It's the same as cost and freight, but this one has insurance. Good, Jimmy. Yeah, exactly. So who's paying for the insurance? Whoever still has title to the goods. That's why the title and the risk usually transfer at the same time. Okay? All right, so I've got 313. Okay, so now discuss and negotiate. Working on cars, right? No, actually, 1,000, right? Very good, Jim. Yeah, $17,000. That's an average price. Average price for those cars. You know, cars are big, right? So how does the car get from the factory or the warehouse to the ship? By truck? It could be. Or by train. Could be that too. Different cost. Maybe the train is more expensive, right? Yeah. You are doing mathematical product? Oh. Furniture. This means it's a barrel. Barrel, yeah. Or yeah, they come in big barrels. So what's the best way to transport a barrel? Barrel. Regina? Barrel.
Beer.
Beer
and oil. And wine.
Well, yeah, well. Yeah, well, not for oil. For wood for actually whiskey. But a barrel of oil, it would be metal. It would be a big metal container. A barrel of oil, Regina, is big, like that, but made of metal. Must be strong. Yeah. So this is the price for a barrel of WTI crude oil today. I don't know what the WTI stands for. But for 93, these are all US dollars. US dollars, yes. US dollars. US dollars. Oh, you know now? Okay, good. Wendy, you can join this team, okay? Okay, good. Okay. This is a tough seller.
然后你要考虑啊，一准备是多少？是吧？上课别忘了。
Bye bye.